How did you know this?
I didn't know at all. I found that it actually gave a language to
Hi, I'm Nancy J. And if you have a need for speed and a love for Breaking Bad and Act of Valor, then this one's for you. The celebrity spotlight is shining brightly on actor Aaron Paul and director Scott Waugh. Scott, Aaron, thank you so much for being here. Now, the movie has to do with this car culture, exotic cars, speed. Tell me all about that.
Well, you know, I grew up in that car culture in the 60s and the 70s. My father's a stuntman, and I grew up like on Bullitt and French Connection, Vanishing Point, Smokey the Bandit. And I just felt like it was such a cool car culture. And today we've kind of veered off a little bit of that, and I really wanted to go back to that world that I thought was so sexy and cool, and Steve McQueen, and what really was represented Americana. And that's truly what our purpose was on this film. Was it's a throwback to the great car culture movies of the 60s and the 70s.
Yeah, when he and I started talking about this project, he goes, you know, I don't want to use any CG. I want to do all of these stunts practical, and I want you to be driving these cars. I don't want to lie to the audience. I think the audience knows when they're getting fooled, but they just kind of let it happen, and they just accept it. So he's like, I don't want to lie to the audience. I want the audience to know that is 100% you driving these cars. And it was a blast.
I think Act of Valor wrecked it for me, because now, like, I use the real guys in that movie, and I'm all about real now.
Yeah.
Like, you really have to drive.
Yeah,
You know, it's
yeah,
hilarious. Yeah.
I spent 2 years thinking about one moment. He set me up. In our world, you always go back. He just left him there. That's what I can't forgive.
That's my boy. Yo, T, I'm really happy you're home.
Scott, let's talk a little bit about the casting of Aaron, because from what I understand, he was not necessarily the first choice.
I didn't even know who Aaron was. I didn't watch Breaking Bad. I was one of those aliens that didn't watch the show. And they asked me, you know, who do you want to play, you know, we had looking at some people for the lead, his character he ended up playing, but then they're like, who are we going to surround him with, who's going to play the villain? His name came up, and I had never watched the show, and so I saw some tape on him, and I was like, man, this kid is so talented, and he had such a great edge to him. I'm like, for the villain's the obvious choice. What about him playing the lead? And the casting said, no, the studio will never go for that. And I said, God, that's a shame, man. I think it really defines the movie we're making. So they talked me out of it, and then they put the cast up in front of Steven Spielberg, and he looked at everything, and he saw Aaron's name up on the villain side, and he watched the tape, and he goes, this kid is fantastic. Why aren't we considering him for the lead? When Spielberg speaks, he was cast.
Thank you, Spielberg.
Yes, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
Boys,
We missed you, brother.
It's time to celebrate.
Call up some females. Do you know any pretty ones?
You like your mama?
What are you thinking, Toby?
this could put him away for life. It's time we make him pay. But first, we're gonna need a fast car.
Y'all ready?
We're doing this.
I'm probably one of the few filmmakers that's truly all about America. And even in Need for Speed, which is a film with a lot of sexy cars, and a lot of those cars most of the time come from Europe. I was extremely adamant that the car that's the lead of the movie be a Ford Mustang, because I wanted to represent America in our movie. And I'm probably always going to be like that.
I'm willing to give $6 million to anyone who puts a stop to him. We'll settle this behind the wheel. I can feel love, vengeance, and motor oil all swirling together.
There's an APB out for your arrest in 10 states. Maybe we should rethink the plan.
I'm never gonna stop.
You are out of your mind. I love it.
Okay, the question everyone wants the answer to, Aaron, is what is life like after Breaking Bad?
Yeah, it's good. It was very hard to say goodbye to Breaking Bad. It was such a family. I was a huge part of it for 6-7 years, but it's good. I started shooting this film the day after I wrapped the show. I worked on the very last day, and I flew out that night to Northern California and got on set with this guy at 6 in the morning the next day. So, but it's just been kind of nonstop. I got married during the shooting of this film, and
His life's been very fast.
yeah, it's been very fast. It's been
After
just
the fact that he
nonstop, which is good, which is great.
Aaron Paul, Scott Waugh, thank you so much for being with us. And you look for Need for Speed in your real-time theater.